going on, everybody?
What's up, y'all?
I'm Greg.
I'm Elise.
And welcome back to another episode of Love and Marriage, Pillow Talk with the Pinos. So it's been a minute since we've seen y'all.
Yes, we missed y'all.
Because of this pandemic, coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever it's called, wreaking damage around the nation, the city. We had to take a break, get some things in order, handle some things. But we are back in action. And we missed y'all. Hope all you guys are safe, staying healthy, staying home. Because we sure are. We're not trying to catch nothing out there, you know. So keep staying home and stay healthy. For everyone's sake, so we can finally get back out, y'all. So today we're going to be talking about how did you know?
How did you know?
And how did I know that she was the one for me?
And how did I know that he was the one for me?
Right. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and run that intro.
Thanks again for joining us on another episode of Love and Marriage, Pillow Talk with the Pinos. Before we get into the discussion, we don't want to forget our question of the day.
But first, we don't want to forget to let y'all know to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell button to get the notifications when we drop new content.
Yes.
Very important.
Very
I know you like our content, so please do that.
All right, so the question of the day is, do you think it's important to keep disagreements in-house, or is it healthy to discuss,
to vent to your friends or family?
Yeah, so what do you think?
I kind of touched on this before. Any issues that we have, it's all in-house, unless we're talking to like a counselor or something like that. But you know, I don't vent to my friends. Definitely don't vent to my family. Nothing like that at all. I just keep it for me and my personality. I'm keeping it in house because I don't want nothing to get blown out of proportion. So we handle our stuff pretty well. We communicate good. So definitely not talking to nobody else except for my wife or a professional. What about you?
And I would say before we got together, I used to tell any and everybody, not any and everybody, but my close friends, my mom, or people who were very close to me, and that didn't go over well in my previous relationships because sometimes family members and even best friends can internalize things too much, and that could either have a negative effect on your significant other. Say for instance, we had a really bad disagreement, and it was an explosive conversation, and I told my mom, and my mom started looking at my husband negatively. So when I started dating Greg, he was really big on just keeping things in house, and it was a struggle for me at first, but I do see the benefits of it. One, you don't want people, like I said, you don't want people, talking negative in your ear, and then that could leave room for, you talking to someone at work, or you talking to a friend, and it's just best to keep things in house. That's for us. May not be for you, but that's what we practice in our relationship, in our marriage, and it has worked for us.
Yeah, like you said, I think you said before, or if someone's told you. You'll forgive, but your family, your friends, they won't.
Yeah.
They'll keep throwing it in your face. But I told you he wasn't good and all that stuff. So we keep that job in house, and a lot of people, none of our family or friends ever know we had any disagreements or issues. But we have.
Yeah, we have big ones.
Big ones, but we handle it. We don't sweep it under the rug. We handle it. Nobody's none the wiser, so that's what we do as far as the Pino. So let us know what you guys do, what you think is important. Someone had actually brought that up to us, so we decided we wanted to pose that to you guys.
And that's not to say that you can't get advice because he might ask advice from his friend.
Yeah.
But he won't go and say, well, my wife did this and did that, and she made me so upset. It's different when you're getting advice or insight. But when you start throwing your significant other under the bus, that's when it, that's crossing the line.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. So, man, I definitely agree with that, 100%. But we talking about today, like we said, how did you know? You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
It don't matter.
I'll go first.
All right, cool.
So
we probably have the same thing. Probably got the same idea.
Yeah, probably be cross. So I'd rather go first. So I don't seem like I'm taking his answers. So
she always takes my answers.
Like this. Okay, so honestly, when Greg and I reconnected, we had already known each other, not as in depth as we know each other now, but we had very, would you say surface level friendship, or would you say it was a little bit more than surface level?
No,
we had a pretty good friendship. We talked every day, and yeah, we talked every day. When we were friends, when we first met. But when we reconnected, there was just a different demeanor about him. There was this leader characteristic that I've always looked for in a man. And I would say that for me, the communication was there. It was big for me. The fact that we was able to just communicate so well, and also the fact that I could just be myself. I felt at ease with him, with conversation, even with, like, I'm not big on physical, like just touching and, put my leg on you or just hugging. That was just not natural for me, but with him, it just came so naturally. And that was my first, that was the first indicator for me, the fact that I was just able to be easily just physically with him, my physical touching, kissing, it didn't feel awkward, and it was easy. So those simple things, it may sound real simple, just, but it was those simple things that made me know that he was the one. And the fact that I could just put all my, I had some things that I had never really discussed with some people, and with anyone really, and I was able to just tell him some of my deepest secrets, and the fact that he was accepting of that, it just made me know, I knew immediately he was the one. Like I said, the simple things, the fact that I could just be myself, and communicate with him, the communication was just so easy. I knew immediately he was the one when we reconnected. For me, that's what it was for me. And the leader in him, he had a lot of things that I was looking for, credit-wise, financially. He was able to lead me, and I always told myself I wanted to be with someone that I felt can lead me, and I had no doubt that he could lead me as a husband, as a father, and just as a leader for our home.
Yeah, no doubt. For me, I think I knew she was the one when we reconnected back, years ago when we reconnected, and I'm like, it seemed like we just picked up where we left off. We talked for hours at a time via text or on the phone. Like, we just talked, and it wasn't awkward. It wasn't nothing crazy. It was just that we just straight talked, had a good communication with each other. And then when we finally hooked up in person, because again, I was in Tampa, she was in Jacksonville. We hooked up in person, we spent literally all day together. Even though she tried to ghost me the next day, but that was her intent, to ghost me the next day. But because we had such a good time, we literally spent from 2 to past midnight together. The first time we saw each other in person, I'm like, man, this is easy. We talked, it wasn't awkward, it wasn't nothing crazy. You don't know how hard that is to come by, especially where I was coming from, the communication and the awkwardness, and you know that it just wasn't. It wasn't the best.
Yeah.
But with her, it was like a complete like 180, man. It was awesome, you know. And I made sure I told her. She tried to like, you know, push it back and say, oh, yeah, we should chill. But I told her like after our first date, he really wanted a date. We were just hanging out. I guess it turned to a date. I don't know. But after our first date, I was like, you know, I want you, man. I want you to be my lady. And even though I was just coming out of, you know, a relationship, coming out of marriage and stuff like that, but I knew that she was gonna be the one for me, and I didn't want to just let that slide by. Like, oh, I'm gonna wait another 3 years, or you know, just fully get myself back together. I was like, no, I had no doubt that this woman right here, Elise Pino's, was gonna be the one for me. After our first get together in person, that was it, man. And when you have that feeling that when you have that feeling that that you know that you can't really describe, that you never really like felt before, to any extent, like I couldn't just let it slide. I knew that this was it. Like we don't really believe in like soulmates or nothing like that, but you know she was it. Like I didn't want to dibble dabble in anything else, because before we reconnected, I was heading down a wrong path. Trust me, like I was heading down a wrong path. I was clubbing every weekend, like drinking heavy. You know, I'm just being me. I was just being up front. I was just heading in the wrong path. I was like going into like depression mode and everything, and then like a light just came in, and she came in, you know, being nosy, just you know, friend requested me again on Facebook, and I was like, man, like okay, let me just get back, you know, let me talk to her, see what's going on with her, and we just picked up where we left off, and I was like, okay, I'm not trying to, you know, do dirt no more. I'm not trying to live crazy no more. Like this is what I've been looking for. This is what I desire, so I'm gonna go ahead and scoop her up before anybody else does. I think she was talking to somebody else at the time, but she was talking to somebody else at the time. But you know, I went ahead and scooped her up before anything was official. But that's how it was. Like you get that feeling, like you guys know when you get that, if you with somebody you've been with them 10, 15 years, you just can't explain it. You know, that's how I knew, and I knew that I don't think no one else could make me feel the way I felt. So yeah.
And I don't know if I ever told you this, but I wasn't trying to ghost you, but when we initially connected, I was actually intimidated. So in my mind, I was like, you know, we're gonna hang out just one day, because you like sprung it out of the blue. You was like, I'm coming down to Jacksonville. And one, I didn't believe he was coming down, but then he came, so I was like, oh man, you know, I was intimidated. One, because I'm like, dang, I have this great guy. The conversation is amazing. Chemistry is amazing. And I really just couldn't describe the feeling that I had. Even like when we hung out the first night, I remember calling my best friend. I was like, man, I don't know if I said I love this guy, but I think I was like, nah, I think I said I really like this guy, and I can really see myself being with this guy. And it was just so, like you said, so indescribable. I couldn't describe the feeling that I had, and I couldn't describe it, and it just felt so surreal. And so it was an intimidation that I felt. So the next day I was just like, I don't know if I want to hang out with this guy, because I knew that I was the type beforehand. I would just dive into something super quick. I would just jump right into it, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to take my time. So I was trying to pace myself, but I was
just smart. Yeah.
I was talking to someone. It wasn't serious. We wasn't dating. We were just getting to know each other. And I remember going down the list saying, I'm like, man, you know, he has a kid. he's been married before. He's getting out of a relationship, and he lives in Tampa. Then I was like, but I have this guy who lives in Jacksonville, goes to my church, no kids, never been married. So I remember going down this list with my friends, and everybody was like, choose the easy, choose the easy, route. But something in my heart was like just pulling me in this direction, and I'm glad that I followed my heart, because I've never been happier, and I know that I chose right.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah, amen. But like you said, the conversation was just easy. We picked up where we left off. Nothing was ever really hard. And in fact, when we went through premarital counseling, the pastor was just like this almost seems too perfect. Like, did y'all fight? Did y'all argue? And we do. We have our issues, but
yep.
I'm
ain't
glad,
perfect. I'm definitely not perfect
at all.
But we made for each other.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. We made for each other.
Yeah.
And I thank God that she was nosy and friend requested me again, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm sure plenty of you guys have stories, like that. Drop it in the comments below. Let us know, what you guys think. What was your how did you know moment?
Yeah.
With your significant other, your spouse.
So many people just get so infatuated with the outer that they never really see the inner. And if somebody was to ask you today, like, how did you know? Can you answer that question?
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So drop it in the comments below. How did you know that person was the one, or have you even thought about that?
Yeah.
So.
And it's funny when she just mentioned the focus on the outer. I know when I first reconnected with her again, I asked one of my homeboy. I was like, man, would you think like a woman with a big nose would be attractive? So at the time, I just remember having like this big nose, which I can't talk because I got a huge head.
Yeah.
But I just remember I was like, man, her nose just seems so big, but I was like, man, she's just awesome though. So I was like, maybe I can look past that. And then like when we hooked up and for the first time, and again in person, I didn't even recognize it. It was like a regular size nose. Maybe my mind was thinking it was really big. I don't know. But if I had just focused on that, like, nope, deal breaker, her nose huge. I would have missed my blessing, So that's it. That's our story, man.
Yeah.
Let us know what you guys' story is below. Drop it down. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell button to get them notifications when we drop new content. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. Stay safe, everybody. Please stay safe and stay home. Deuces.